Welcome back, folks, to the Blizzard ANZPL Pro League. I'm Zev, with me Death, and we're about to find out if Legacy is going to be able to close this first game out 3-1, or if Death's prediction will be correct to an ace.
Yeah, oh man, if Runamok can win this game for Legacy Esports, they'll get their first win of the tournament. They'll feel very comfortable in themselves. And they'll already be really well positioned to look towards that finals later on in December. And Seither, it's all on the line here. And look, anything can happen in a TVT. If the players are even close enough skill to hit each other on ladder, there's a chance that either player might win. So while, like we were saying before, Seither is definitely favored on paper and probably favored in historical results, I wouldn't be surprised to see Runamok win here.
Yes, I guess we'll soon find out on Ascension to Isle, which we're about to hop into. I believe the players are ready. And yeah, keen to see also where Seither's at, because like someone like Runamok does stream a bit. I don't think Seither stream ever. Like I don't think I've seen that happen.
Not sure. No, he definitely has streams. I've watched his stream before, and it's pretty good. It's kind of like Beyond, but with Australian internet. But he's kind of this player that kind of like Beyond. You watch him and you know he's fast, but you have no idea exactly how fast he is because he's so calm and collected, and every click has meaning, and there's almost no wasted actions there. It's an absolute joy to watch. But yeah, man, looking forward to the game. Let's get it started.
Do it. Not do it. I'm hyped for this one, man. Blessed to have two TPTs in the same match in our first week. What?
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, you could say that ironically, but I'm actually serious when I say that I love the matchup, and it's one of my favorites, probably second favorite after TVZ. And the less said about Terran versus Protoss, the better. My opinion.
Well, we'll see if we end up with the TVP if we go to an ace match, but that's yet to be seen, as we are on Ascension to Ire, and in the top left, representing Legacy, this is Runamok.
Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, he needs to win this game to give his team a fighting chance. Playing for Team TTSYF, it's Seither. Alright, so what are the players going to be doing? Both of them, I think, have elected to go for gas first. Is that one from Seither? It looks like Runamok's a little bit faster. So the barracks are going to be going up at the same time. So yeah, I believe this is going to be gas first. Maybe a Reaper expand from Seither, considering that he's got his SCV already rallied to his natural. It's Runamok not going for the second gas himself, so it's going to be an expansion from him too.
Mm-hmm. Generally, I think he is a bit more of a player that likes to go the expansion routes. But I don't know. Have you played much ladder on this patch yet, Death? Because I'm wondering how much adjustment TVT needs at the moment to get used to.
Yeah, I've played quite a bit. I'd say a lot of the builds are the same, except like I was talking about in the last game, the Raven's kind of fallen out of use in any aggressive openings. It's still reasonable defensively, but I think there's better ways that you can open up now. The openings are slightly different, but the core of it's the same. Like, the end result's the same. You want to get some units together, and you want to go and just harass your opponent and see what damage you can do, whether you open up expansion or otherwise. It's always about that harassment in the mid-game. I think that Mech probably has more of a place in the matchup now that the Raven has a healing drone, but it's still really early days, so the players might not have been able to practice that style too much yet.
Yeah, still being figured out a little bit. I've seen people play with Mech a little bit more in TVZ. TVT, I still haven't seen much of it. But I'm sure it just needs a little bit of time for people to actually figure out the nuts and bolts. And it's, I guess the early game is still fairly similar in the sense that it's quite scrappy. You do get those little Reaper pokes, or as we saw in the last series, maybe throwing a Cyclone in there early on. So at the moment, still pretty tame. No one's made any drastic moves, of course, both going for those expansions here. Finishing up at reasonably similar times. Looks like the main difference so far is that Runamok has elected to grab that second Reaper and is going to head out across to his opponent's.
Yeah, he is. Seither's going to have a Hellion out though, so with a couple of these Marines, he shouldn't take any damage from the Reapers. Especially because the Hellion is just a little bit faster than the Reaper, like you'll see here. He can chase him out, do some decent damage.
Well, if nothing else, he does sort of scout out what he's got on the field, gets comfortable with that natural base, and his own couple of Hellions gonna join the fray here in just a moment. Maybe with a nice lineup, he can get a good roasting on the front line there, but Seither's already spread himself out in a line at the front horizontally, so really that shouldn't be too much of an issue. His own Reaper's actually headed out at the moment to have a bit of a scout.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Seither does want to... Well, actually, Seither manages to kill one of the Hellions straight up, but he's only got Marines, and they won't do too well if Runamok can micro his Reapers correctly. Seither's scout is going to come up here, and he's going to feel pretty comfortable now that he'll see the Cloak research and the Banshee finishing up, because Seither's already almost got his Raven completed and on the field. The Cyclone anti-air DPS now is really, really strong too, so Runamok's going to need to find something special to be able to do much damage.
Yeah, especially once he's seen everything that main base Runamok has to offer. And that Cyclone's actually going to chase these units right on out of this location. So the ability for Runamok to harass with these units is really kind of finished. But the first Banshee is about ready to roll on in here. He can do much with this combined force.
The Banshee looks like... That skin on the Banshee kind of looks like something out of Thunderbirds. It's pretty wild. Where's the Raven though? It needs to come up. It's nothing fast enough, and Seither losing a couple of SCVs here and there. The Banshee will get chased out in just a moment.
Oh,
it's going down. Oh!
What?
What? What?
The dream is alive. 4 health. The Banshee survives. Can maybe take that home, repair that, and save it for a rainy day as he heads into a reactor on his own star floor back at home. 3 racks now up and producing there for Runamok as well, once still sort of grabbing its add-ons.
It's a really bad supply block though from Runamok. He's blocked on 54. That's never where you want to be, especially when you've just got your barracks that are finished up. He's got his add-ons and he's not able to produce anything, so he lost a solid round of production there. That's going to hurt him, man. Maybe like 5 to 10 supply.
Yeah, not ideal. Seither's macro has become increasingly more impressive over time. Like when he first came out, it was like, god damn, this guy can multi-prong you in like 16 places at once. Insane. But as time's gone on, he's just finessed his play more and more, and that macro is starting to be really scary. So, you know, as it stands, he is 10 workers ahead. He's got a little bit more out on the field. His third base is now floating over, whereas Runamok's still building, so he is ahead.
Yeah, decent little lead that can snowball as the game progresses. Runamok will want to maybe get some medivacs out on the field and just find a way to do some damage. Get a Marine drop here, or maybe a double drop with some tanks in the main of Seither, and he'll be able to equalize any advantage that Seither might have. But he's got to be careful, because one bad move and one bad engagement for Runamok right now, considering he's a little bit behind, and he could just lose the game straight away.
Yeah. So a couple of medevacs of units here do get caught out. Cyclone's holding the watchtower there for a moment. Runamok's going to take this for himself now, but he's really going to be able to do anything with that drop play just yet. Although, if he finds a gap somewhere, he may be able to find some damage. I think the third base way too fortified at this point. You have to kind of go for maybe the natural defended. Whoa, okay, don't do that.
Yeah, lost about a medivac full of Marines there. And his medivacs get scouted because I think he was going to gear up for a drop. But if he goes for one now, it's going to be kind of predictable. So we'll have to see, but Seither does have a spotting Marine here over at the right-hand side. I think that Seither is just going to miss
Wow. He found the sweet spot. Oh my god. Oh, but he
that
goes
accidentally.
up north a little bit.
Oh, there's going to be a sensor tower coming up eventually, maybe? Oh no, there's only one on the left-hand side, so this could do some work for Runamok if he can get his tank sieged in time. He can't afford to take another shot on that tank, but he does. Loses the tank. Seither's going to bring back his army. He is about 25 supply up, but he will have to trade relatively inefficiently to clear this out. Oh, really nicely shift queuing up those scrambler missiles, and so the medivacs can't boost.
Wow.
Everything gets cleaned up there.
Yeah. And he does get out with those few medevacs, but all in all, he only managed to take out 4 workers and deny some mining time. Also denied the turrets building there, I guess, so that's not a huge deal though. And now Seither, he has quite a bulky force out here. He's got almost 40 Marines. Oh no!
But
Well, that's
it's also cool, I mean, today I learned that the Raven ability, that Scrambler missile, doesn't actually have any delay. Like, there's no animation delay at all between firing. That is instant card.
Yeah.
No global cooldown on that. This is an RTS, get out of here.
See, they're now going to sneak around to this 4th base location, find a spot. Yup, perhaps Runamok's trying to track his movements. He has less to work with though. He's got 4 tanks out here and a few less Marines, but with a good position, he can make it really difficult for Seither to actually push in without taking heavy losses on the way. But can Seither find?
Yeah, this is the part of the game where Seither is kind of like Jaws. He's looking to find some blood in the water. The tanks do get sieged up, but it looks like Runamok might just have enough to defend here. He needs to find a way to get his tanks forward, though, otherwise he'll need to evacuate this 3rd base position, and more Marines come up from Seither. Runamok, he needs to make something happen.
A good initial position there for Runamok, but he can't really move forward. He tries to move the siege tanks down, not even sieging them, and on the right-hand side, coming down,
great sandwich.
Tanks. Oh, wow, he actually cleans it up, and Seither heads home with just his bruised medevacs left.
But behind that, look at the next story in this game. Seither is going to have 2-2. It's going to finish up in about 15 seconds. He's got a 4th base that'll be planting itself over at the right-hand side too. Whereas Runamok, he's only just started his 4th, and he's going to be a full upgrade behind for a while, man. And I tell you, like, upgrades in this matchup, when we're talking about Marines and some of the highest DPS units in the game, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, that's really a huge deal here. And not only that, but he's also 1 behind on the siege tank upgrade as well. He's going for the Doom Jump route, but Seither's vision is crazy good. It has been good this entire game, so he's spotted before he can even get halfway across the map. He does have to abandon that idea for the moment. If he clicks on any of those units, he'll notice.
Oh!
Oh my god, you're kidding.
That was amazing. The one little Marine kills a medivac with 2 tanks. A little Marine that could.
Oh my gosh. That's got to sing a little bit for Runamok as well. He doesn't really have stuff there at the moment. Like, in terms of army numbers and working counts, it looks even, but it's all about those upgrades, as you mentioned. It's all about the fact that Seither has a 4th base mining already. And not to mention he's headed into +3 attack as well. So he's only going to extend his lead from here if Runamok isn't able to find a way to do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, eventually Runamok will equalize the upgrades just for a period of maybe about 30 to 45 seconds. So if he can find a decent engagement within that time frame, he might be able to get slightly ahead. But he needs to find a way in. He can't let Seither just sit back and macro on 4 bases right now, because Runamok will not have the right bank, he won't have the economy, and he won't be able to replenish his army nearly as quickly. I like what he's doing here though. He's got some of his army split off to the right-hand side, some of it in the middle of the map, so he can threaten multiple places at once, and Seither needs to be very decisive in how he responds.
Well, so far that response is looking pretty good from Seither. He sieges up at that 4th base and then realizes, hey, that's a pretty chunky part of your army. Where's the rest of it? And he stims straight into that fourth base of Runamok, which is actually going to go down. He just cannot out-repair that damage. I think that was a double stim on the Marines there.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the SCV is getting mowed down. And Marines coming from the north, take out those siege tanks, and the rest of this army meets up with what Runamok has. He gets a full surround on those last couple of medevacs worth of units.
Excuse me? Like, how did these Marines get out? That was almost perfect. If he got the other tank, I would have said that that was pretty much the best that he possibly could have made for the position.
So close. Oh. Well cleaned up from Runamok, but he did lose that fourth base, unfortunately. He's down about 10 workers at this point. He does have a lot more Marines on the field. So if he can make that work for him, he's going to do a double drop on the left-hand... Oh, excuse me. No, he's just going to unload here on the left-hand side, trying to get a good spread. It is going to be a little tricky to attack down this ground with the tank line.
Yeah, pretty much impossible. Seither's in such a good position. I'd love to see... Oh, he's already doing it. He's going to put down a sensor tower at the front so he can just basically get vision over what Runamok's doing in the center of the map. And Seither could pretty comfortably just add on his upgrades, add on his Starport 2, and look for maybe some air control later in the game. But Runamok's going to go for it. He's dropping out of medivacs. He's got a great flank actually on the right-hand side. But I'm just not sure he's got enough. The upgrades are really going to be pretty brutal here. And a lot of his Marines were still left over in the medivacs. Runamok did not have the right composition. GG, well played. And we're going to an ace match.
Oh my god, I can't believe you predicted it from the get-go, Dev.
Well, I mean, it was a lucky guess.
Uh-huh. Sure. Using that oversized brain of yours. These predictions. Alright, awesome.
I wasn't overly confident in it. I thought that SYF could have got his trio, but Probe won the first game, so there you go.
I mean, you even predicted that if Probe wins the first one, but yeah. Anyway. Cool, so we get our full 5 games out of these guys for our first match of the tournament. 1F Pro versus Downfall is going on off stream as well. Unsure what the score is, and we're not even going to tell you either. We do plan to cast that at some other point in the future from replays to make sure that we get to see those also as well. But we're coming up to an ace match. So these guys have to decide who they're going to throw out as their 5th final player to home the series for the night. So guys, without further ado, we'll take a quick break, come back for the ace match. Don't go away.
See you then.